As soon as I could walk, my dad threw a football at my feet. I loved it. I couldn't stop. I wanted more of it. I just fell in love with football. I wanted to watch every single football programme that was on television. I wanted to play football at every opportunity of the day.
It's swung in here for the chance for Shearer! Premier League goal, 200 for Alan Shearer! Drops for Shearer! Oh!
Hello, Mr. Alan Shearer.
Hi.
Yeah. How is your life now? And the Vietnamese football fans still remember your goals and how you celebrate them, running fast with a finger above your head.
Yeah, that was my celebration that I used for the vast majority of my career. There was no way I was going to do a back flip or a forward flip, or I couldn't have done that. I'd have got injured. So it was sort of simplistic and worked with my arm in the air, and I enjoyed it. I was a very lucky boy to get paid to play football. I just love football. I love scoring goals. Ever since I scored my first goal as a 17-year-old for Southampton, scoring a hat-trick on my debut, to my last goal for Newcastle in 2006. There was no better feeling in the world ever. I mean, the adrenaline rush that you get when you score a goal is just unbelievable, and that's the only thing that I miss about football, because it's such a great feeling when you score.
You were the top goal scorer 3 times in 1994, 1995, 1995, 96,
Yep.
96, 97, and scored over 30 goals each for 3 years of Premier League consecutively. And what are the qualities that the player need to become the top goal scorer in Premier League? And it is essential for the football club who wants to be a champion to possess a striker scoring over 20 goals per season?
Well, first and foremost, you need good players around you. You need a good team to play in. I was incredibly lucky that the teams that I played for were all built and designed to go forward and score balls and get balls into the box. So they all sort of played to my strengths at Southampton, Blackburn, and for Newcastle, and with England. As a forward, whether you like it or not, you're always judged on goals. The first question anyone will ask you as a forward: how many goals you got, or how many goals have you scored? Yes, you have to bring other people into the game. You have to have assists, touch and technique, but you have to have that love and passion for scoring goals, and you can't be afraid to miss. And I think that's the difference between the great goal scorers and the good goal scorers, is that the great want to do it time and time and time again, and never ever tire of that feeling, and get disappointed when they don't score goals, because that was my job. It was my job to score goals, and I loved that pressure of when people put that on me. Some people don't enjoy it. I did. I thought it was a great thing to have. So you have to have all of that. But the main thing is the love for scoring goals. That's why the forwards it's the most important position. That's why they pay the big money for all the centre forwards, and why the centre forwards get paid the big wages.
So, who do you think will be the candidates for the top goal scorer this season? Brand new names or old name like Aguero or Salah or Kane or Aubameyang?
No, I think it'll be the same old names. Jamie Vardy could get in there also if he stays fit. But yeah, with the number of chances that these big teams create now, I should say, whether it's Liverpool or Manchester City. I mean, it must be an absolute dream for Aguero to be playing in that Manchester City team with De Bruyne whipping in balls, or Bernardo Silva or David Silva or Raheem Sterling, to play in that team with the number of chances that they create every single week. Then it must be an absolute dream for these players. So I don't see it being any different come the end of the season. I think it'll be between Aubameyang, Kane, Salah, Aguero. My guess would be because Mo Salah takes the penalties at Liverpool. My guess would be it may be him again.
So will Rashford resist the pressure of being a pioneer striker of Manchester United? And will Manchester United need
strong, he can go up against you. He can run in behind if you leave the space. He can also go short for the ball because he's got great touch and technique. Brings others into the game. Will always score goals. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Harry Kane.
So we have seen like Manchester United have missed their last two vital penalties with Wolves and Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And how come they exude? And is this the matter of discipline? Managers should have made it clear who will take it.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake. I mean, Marcus Rashford scored one against Chelsea with great confidence, stuck it away superbly well, and then they get another penalty a week later. Then the manager comes out and says, well, I'll just leave it up to Pogba and to Rashford to sort out on the pitch. I don't think that's the right way to go, but you have to have your designated penalty taker. If he's on the pitch, for argument's sake, Rashford, then he takes the penalty. You can't decide there and then, I don't think, who takes it. It should be up to the manager to say, he is my penalty taker. And of course, Pogba takes it, misses it, then all of a sudden, the whole world is now watching a week later, and it was pretty inevitable that what would happen, Man United would get a penalty again, and then it would have to be sorted out on Rashford. And so there's enough pressure on you anyway to take penalties. It's hard enough. You don't need extra pressure on you, which of course there was. So the manager, I think, should have, and of course has since done, named that Rashford is his penalty taker. So he has to take them, and that's his responsibility to do that. If you miss two on the spin, then of course you have to maybe look at someone else. He's now missed one. I'm sure that if they get another one, it'll be Rashford again.
If you were the head coach of Manchester United, who would you win aside to have penalty kicks?
I would have Rashford, yeah. I would have said to Marcus Rashford, you are my penalty taker. You will be taking the penalties if you're on the pitch. And then there's no confusion.
And sharing the penalty between teammates is good or bad? And should penalty kicks always arranged and decided by the managers?
Yeah, the manager should always have that arranged, and I don't think it's right that that player should be deciding on the pitch whenever it happens. You should have your designated penalty taker there.
So, which qualities of a player need to be a penalty taking specialist?
You have to practice. I mean, you can't. It's very difficult to replicate the pressure that you're under by practicing, but that doesn't mean to say you can't. I always used to practice penalties. I used to tell the goalkeeper in training which side I was going to go to. I was going to say to him before I took a penalty, right, I'm going to your right hand side. But if I struck my penalty in the way that I knew I wanted to, the goalkeeper, irrespective whether he knew where I was going, shouldn't save it. So I always practice that as high into the top corner. But you also have the confidence and the belief that you have to change now and again, because the goalkeepers can cheat and move along the line. So you have to do something differently. But it's having belief, it's having confidence, and putting that into practice. Whether there's 60,000 there or whether there's 6 people on a training ground, it doesn't matter. If you put it where you want it in that spot, the goalkeeper shouldn't stop it, and it's having the confidence to do that.
So, could you name your 5 best penalty takers now in Premier League?
Well, Harry Kane's one of them, without a doubt. He was very confident. I played at Southampton with the best penalty taker I've seen, actually, with a guy Matt Letizia. He only ever missed 1 penalty in his career. But they're all different techniques, because some people like to watch the goalkeeper and not take their eye off the ball. Others, like me, always used to say, no, I'm picking my spot and that's where I'm going, and it doesn't matter whether you go to the right side or not, you should not save that. But yeah, Harry Kane's one of the better penalty takers, because he takes them for England and also, of course, for Tottenham Hotspur. Scored one in the North London derby against Arsenal, stuck it away with ease and full of confidence. So Harry Kane's the best in the Premier League at taking penalties.
We had talk about Shearer, so the coach of Manchester.
Yeah, he's exactly the same. I mean, he's got a big job on. He's taken a huge gamble in not replacing Romelu Lukaku, going in with a lot of inexperience in terms of up front. They've recruited and spent a huge amount of money defensively in Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, which should improve them, albeit they're still conceding too many goals. But every club has an issue that's trying to get into the top 4, whether it's Chelsea, Tottenham, Manchester United or Arsenal. They all have their different issues, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, again, very much like Frank, has got a big job on his hands, and it's patience that's going to be needed, because the success that Manchester United used to have, i.e. in terms of challenging for the Premier League, is not going to happen for a number of years yet, and he needs to be given time, just like Frank does.
And can Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp will be another Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger? And which manager would you like to work with?
Well, I think we've heard both Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp say that they're not going to be around forever. Yes, they have the rivalry now, and yes, without doubt, they are the best two teams by a million miles, and they will be challenging each other for the league again this year. But even Jurgen Klopp has said that in possibly 2 years or 3 years' time, then he might take a break from football. Pep Guardiola did it after Barca and also after Bayern Munich whilst he was manager. So I don't see that rivalry being there in 7 or 8 years' time, because I don't think the managers will be there. It'll be someone different at that football club. I think gone are the times where you can see a manager that's in there for over 20 years now, because of the thirst and the demand for teams to be successful.
Do you see any chances Mourinho will be a manager in the league very soon?
No, I don't see. And I look around at a lot of the bigger clubs, which inevitable he will want to manage, and I don't see that opportunity arising in the Premier League for him. I see him managing either at international level or managing in another league somewhere. I don't see him back in the Premier League at a big football club.
Who are the top three defenders now? And Mackay is one of them.
Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool has had a fantastic impact at Liverpool. Incredible, everything that they were missing. Great leadership, organisation, and a very, very good defender. Quick, good in the air, times to perfection. Laporte at Manchester City has been superb last season. I know he's got an injury at the weekend, so hopefully that's not too bad. And Man United have paid huge money for Harry Maguire from Leicester. Still early, I know that, but he deserves that chance. He deserved it because he was excellent at Leicester and with England. But I think the best two in the league were Van Dijk and Laporte.
And it is said that Liverpool and Manchester City is still a two-horse race of Premier League this season. Do you think so? And any team could join the race? And your prediction of top four, and why?
No one will join the race, as in terms of challenging Liverpool and Manchester City. It will be those two going head to head again, because they are a long way ahead of the other challengers. I have a sneaky feeling that Liverpool might do it, might win the Premier League this year, but it'll be very tight again, and it will be those two. My top four, obviously Liverpool, Manchester City, So if he can stay fit this year, then possibly Kevin De Bruyne.
So what is your prediction about English football in Champions League and Europa League?
Well, it was incredibly successful for the English clubs last year, with Liverpool and Tottenham going head-to-head in Champions League and Chelsea and Arsenal going head-to-head in the Europa League. I think that tells you how strong the Premier League was last season. There's obviously the finance in the Premier League allows the clubs to go out and spend vast amounts of money on players. It is very strong. When you, as a whole package, the stadiums, the fans, the atmosphere, the pace of the Premier League, how relentless it is, the number of games, then that's why the Premier League is the best in the world. So it would be no surprise again if the Premier League's Liverpool or Manchester City were to go far in the tournament again.
And which is your own starting 11 of Premier League this season?
How long we got? Van Dijk, Laporte, Alexander-Arnold on the right side, Robertson on the left hand side, goalkeeper Ederson, centre forward Harry Kane and Aguero, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. It's mainly a team of Man City, Liverpool and Spurs, isn't it? You need two in midfield now, centre midfield. I like James Maddison at Leicester, just to mix it up a little bit. Who am I missing? I'm missing one midfielder, am I? Probably Fernandinho sat in front of the back four. Off the top of my head.
Yes. So the last question is, do you see VAR working as you expected?
It hasn't. There's still been issues up to now. It's been in the Premier League only for a month now, and we are talking about VAR too much, I think. It will get better, but it has got its issues. I don't like the handball law. I would like the stadiums to inform the fans who are paying their money in the stadiums to be informed a little bit more about what and why something is happening, because at the minute they're left in the dark. But we also have to try and remember that I know that there are the 4 key decisions that VAR looks at, but it was only brought in VAR to get rid of the howlers, the absolute howlers, and the clear and obvious, and we've perhaps gone away from that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.